ALL MADN.com. Will and Levon coming at you off-season recap. How's it going, brother?
It's
Father?
going, man. Yes, I am Zaddy now, so you will address me as such. No, I'm just kidding. It's going good, man. It's going good. It's been busy week. It's been exactly 7 days and a little over 6 hours, a little over 9 hours since the little homeboy was born. So just getting through that first 10 days is the toughest. They say. Oh, it's been a
Yeah.
battle.
What's the hardest part so far, would you say?
Hmm. It's the kind of like adjusting to a sleep schedule. There's no really a sleep schedule either. You just kind of don't sleep. And this is my theory. So the baby was born at midnight, right? Midnight 6 minutes past midnight. So throughout the day, he's great. Like he'll just wake up, eat, go back to sleep, sleeps a couple hours at a time, barely awake. He'll wake up, be like nice and look around stuff. Not really fussy, but as soon as like Des and I are like, all right, let's shower, let's go to bed, lay down, relax a little bit. Baby's not having it. So my theory is that for him, it's the day starts at night, and our day is his night because his first 12 hours into the day was him getting weighted, eating clean, getting fed, and then the next 12 was the chill for him, which is the daytime for us. So that for sure has been the toughest part of it so far, and I'm sure most of the dads in the chat will agree with me. The sleeping, and kind of like just learning how to not sleep, really. What would you expect the hardest part would be if you had to guess?
I mean, I own dogs, so it's basically the same thing from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So I'm pretty much, I have two dogs, and you only have one baby. So, I mean, how hard could it be?
Right. We're pretty much equal. I guess I got one dog too, so I'm
Okay.
down up on you. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're even in terms of responsibility then.
Yep. Pretty much.
But we got a lot to cover today, bro. So we got,
Oh.
first of all, it's been a very long time since we've been in the booth. We took a little break.
Uh-huh.
I think the boys were sick of hearing from us because they didn't want us to call the Super Bowl. So we took a little step back. We had a little break.
Oh, that's
We
right.
had to make them. We had to make them miss us a little bit because they had been hearing too much of Will and Levon. So we're finally back, but we got free agency to talk about. We
Uh-huh.
have some big trades. We'll talk a little bit of draft stuff. I mean, have you been doing a lot of scouting?
No, not really. I'll be honest. I've been trying to move on my picks, but just like me, just like everybody else, I'm trying to move up in the draft. Everybody's trying to, nobody wants to move down, so it's just constant struggle. I'm sure a lot of people understand and are in the same, position as I am. Let's go for our usual bros in the chat. We appreciate you, Stevie and Castro. Castro
Yeah. So
with some wholesome little message in the chat today. You never expect that from that guy, but it was good to see.
yeah, he was singing our praises to the PlayStation group. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, so boys, if you're looking for in-depth draft analysis, you're probably not going to get it on this pod. Sorry to say. Kel Miper put a mock draft in the chat, so you have that, and he's been posting big news posts about the draft. So follow that stuff. Riley usually puts some good nuggets in those things. So for draft info, get it in the chat, not really here.
And hit me up if you're trying to move back from the first round. I got like 17 million picks this year that I don't need. So just I gotta use my fucking podium. I gotta use my
Yeah. How many second round picks do you have?
Dude, I think I have 3 second rounds, 2 first rounds, third, couple of fourths. I have well over 10 picks this year. Just let me get a mid first rounder, guys. Come on. It's not that hard. People are being stingy. I don't appreciate that.
We got Brendan dropping some draft news in the chat that the Saints are drafting Arch #1 overall. So 2 Maddens in a row. Arch Manning going to the Saints. Dallin had him last year. Brendan's going to have him this year. And Arch Manning was a Saint. How fitting.
It is very fitting. It's almost a tradition at this point. If I'm the Saints next year, I know who I'm taking in 2025 draft.
Mm-hmm.
Got no problem. Although, have you seen those Twitter videos of
Oh
him?
my God, yeah, dude, he's getting killed for one spring game. I kind of feel bad for him.
I do too. It's like LeBron coming into the league, except even worse because I'm trying to see who I can compare him to. Um, Sharif O'Neal, maybe, but way
Mm.
overhyped. Like somebody who has a family of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, pretty much stacked, and now he has all this pressure on his on his shoulders. Comes in, has one bad practice, and people are just dogging on him. Sad, but how sad can he be? He's gonna be an NFL quarterback.
And he's already made like millions of dollars in
Yeah,
NIL deals. He'll be
yeah.
all right.
You can't feel that bad, but it is funny though. You're right.
Okay, all right. So free agency. Before we get there, I want to talk about something. I don't know if you guys saw in the chat. Mike Valaha Mike posted a pizza, and he was like, "Will Jock is a real one." So I just want to tell the league about that a little bit. So me and Mike had a pizza bet. I totally forgot about it, and the bet was I said that there will not be any NFC Super Bowl winners for all of Madden, which is a horrible bet. I should have gotten odds on that just because there's going to be an NFC team in every Super Bowl. Like it's for the AFC to go undefeated would just been impossible. So
good thing they got Jason because AFC. If Jason was in that AFC, who's to say that we're not 3-0 against the NFC?
I know it is a one-man conference.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Good call.
So he texts me. He goes, "Hey, good friend. Any way I can cash in our pizza bet tonight?" I go, "Yeah. Like, what's your Venmo and what did we bet on?" So he tells me, and he sends me his pizza order. Let me pull it up for the boys, because I think it's hilarious.
All right, let's see. Let me read it off. Okay, so the restaurant is Mamaronis. Ciao. Scusi.
Yeah,
yeah. All right, so we got Mamaronis pizza, 16-inch extra large create your own pizza. All right, 16-inch. Let me compare that to about half of. Okay, yeah. So pretty big pizza, sausage. Let's see, bacon, Italian sausage, pepperoni. So meat lovers, I don't have a problem with
that's what stood out to me. He went with the triple meat. I was impressed.
Yeah.
He went with the extra large triple meat.
Get some protein, brother.
I was getting ready to send him like $6.99 for a Little Caesars hot and ready, but then he had the receipt ready to go. He's like, 20 is fine, dude. So I just sent over the 20.
Damn, he gave you a discount.
He did. He was like, I already got 5 in Venmo. Like, just send me 20 and we're good to go.
Damn, he gave you a nice old Madden discount. Good guy. What a stand-up guy.
Yeah, great dude. So glad we were able to settle that bet. Sad that RK wasn't able to. I mean, I guess it's not really on RK. It was Jarrell that kind of lost the bet first and foremost last season, because Jarrell lost to Jason. Jason's now back-to-back champ, bro.
Yeah. Big come up for Jason.
Dude, your baby being born on like the same night that Jason wins the Super Bowl, your boy Jason, like, dude, it's destiny.
Yeah, it is destiny. I should have named him Jason probably, but
you should have.
We were watching the game like literally while we were in the hospital. It was great. Watched Brina commentating too. That was fun.
Yeah, Brina, Scott, and Logan. It was a great commentary team, except I will say next time Logan has to commentate, he's got to do it on the computer. I know he couldn't get it to work, but like there was a slight delay, and it was throwing the boys off a little bit. I like the 3-man booth, but like there was a little delay, which was a shame.
Yeah, maybe bring him in on as a what's his name, Booger, just on a couple of plays from the sideline reporting.
Oh yeah, and there was one point where I think there was like 2 minutes left in the first half, and Brino was like asking Logan, like, what's the offseason going to look like for the Titans? And I was like, yo, we're in the Super Bowl. Like, why are we talking about the offseason for the Titans right now? Like,
Titans out everybody too, huh? Oh, interesting. Well, I guess we're going to cover probably most of the teams today, talking about some offseason moves, draft, not really draft, but more of a free agency stuff. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, let's start with the top, like in terms of overall free agency recap.
Yeah.
So the number one highest rated guy in free agency, probably not the most coveted guy, but just in terms of overall rating, was Derrick Henry. And Dan, Cowboys signed Derrick Henry. So now he's got the Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry in his backfield. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't love the signing. I heard the reasoning behind it. He was trying to just cutting down the competition. so somebody else wouldn't get him.
AKA Stevie, the Panthers.
Is that Stevie? Yeah, Stevie. I know Stevie likes Derrick Henry. I don't know how much money. It looks like he gave him about 23 million with almost 20 guaranteed for over 3 years. I mean, if he doesn't break his cap, I guess it's not a bad move. It's definitely a petty move. But when you get this level of competition, maybe that's justified. What do you think? He's 31, 97 overall. He only has Jonathan Taylor. And I think he mentioned in the chat that he looks Jonathan Taylor as a speedster guy. I don't think I agree with that.
Elusive back, yeah.
He's definitely a all around. Probably has like 90 break tackle or more or something like that. So that's gonna be an interesting thing to watch. Derrick Henry take 3 snaps on a goal line every game and then sit on the bench rest of the time.
Yeah, I think like 3 years, it looks like the cap hit's going to be around like 40 million for him. And to have that as like a luxury item, secondary running back, like I really hope you don't have any, guys that are coming up that on expiring contracts that you want to pay. And like, it's like, oh, fuck, I'm stuck with Derrick Henry right now. Cause that would be definitely a misallocation of assets for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude.
But yeah, what's up?
I was going to say, I think the scariest free agent signing is the next one.
Yeah.
God.
Debo Samuel. Yeah. I mean, fuck, man. This team, back-to-back Super Bowl champions, got better. One of the best weapons, not just a receiver, weapons. It goes to the Atlanta Falcons. Huge contract, though. 6 years, 144 mil, 73 guaranteed or bonus. Bonus is pretty much guaranteed, right? That's his like.
It's yeah, unless he trades him, the cap hit's going to be whatever 6 divided by salary plus bonus will be. So that's like 210, looking like 35 million a year against the cap.
Yeah, that's a lot to pay for a receiver, but
is he going to be able to pay Jordan Addison and Jack Campbell?
And that's what I was getting at. This is 3rd year. Jordan Addison was drafted in the first round, so he does have a 5th-year option. So he really has like 3 more seasons of controlled cap with him. But the question is with his secondary. I don't know what expiring contracts coming up and how much money he's already allocated to those corners. I mean, we praise him those corners. That's probably the best corner best secondary in the league, and they showed up big time in the Super Bowl too. So that's what I'm wondering, if he's shifting from a defensive to now that Will Levis is developing. He's probably got a bunch of upgrades. You got Jordan Addison is a absolute stud. He doesn't need he's an X factor. Maybe he's at the point when you're like, okay, I'm okay in a season or two to move on, trade a couple of these defensive players, and it kind of shifts the money from defense onto the offense. That's not and then we have this every free agency. I mean, I was the one who signed 2 big contracts in the first free agency that I was kind of freaking out about, but everybody usually ends up fine. It's probably not going to be as impactful as we think. Numbers look big, but it's funny because in real life we always say cap is not real. I've yet to see somebody be legit impacted by the cap.
Very true.
On their team. And I don't want to say I would love to, because it's kind of lame. Like, it's a video game. Let us play at the same time. Geesh, like,
I mean, I would like to see it just so that there's some consequence for just throwing a stupid amount of money at a free agent and outbidding somebody.
Yeah, like Derrick Henry signing. I feel like that's when I'm like, okay, like if the cap was real, you probably in real life, if you're not signing, Colts are not signing or trading for Derrick Henry right now. It's just just because they don't want the Jaguars to get Derrick Henry, So same ordeal there. Now, but I'm happy for Jason, man. This is gonna be a hard team to beat in the first place. You add another weapon on that team with Levis. I mean, it's crazy because that offense is not really a passing offense. At least I don't look at it. It's more of on the back of what's his name? Jonathan Allen?
Braylon Allen?
Braylon Allen, yeah. It kind of like runs through him, like running game, big chunk yards, broken tackles, and then he kind of does a lot of motions and stuff like that. Takes a couple of deep shots to Jordan Addison too. But I'm trying to see if you think Debo is gonna be a little underused in that offense for that contract at least.
I don't know. Jason really spreads it out, so the more guys he has that can kind of get
Yeah.
open, I think it makes him even more dangerous. The one play that stood out to me in the Super Bowl that was like, I don't know if Jason saw this and in his research or when he was scouting RK or what, was the read option. He had like two 20-yard rushing touchdowns with Will Levis that absolutely changed the game. I think it was the reason he won that game.
Yeah, absolutely. That one of them was like, I think 3rd and 15 or something crazy like that, and then balls to like pull out like option keep option on that on a obvious pass down is a, I mean, worked out great for him. Yeah, both those touchdowns are crazy too. Um, all right, so next one, is another one that is kind of adding already into a very strong group, and that's our boy Stevie going to with Mike Evans. Mike Evans, man, just what is it that nobody wants him? Well, funny I say that after he gets a 120 million contract.
But look at
120.
the contract compared to Debo. Like
Yeah, yeah,
6 years, 130
like a
compared to
half of
6
it.
years, 210. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a little over the half, but it's just been bouncing around everywhere, right? I think Browns had him, and then I think he traded to me. I think he was on my roster for a little bit. I think I ended up trading him away. Now he's on a free agency, but it's kind of like same as the Falcons. Panthers just add already to a very, very deep receiving group. Now you have a DK Metcalf, you have Cooper Cup, Mike Evans, all going three wide over there with Corum in the backfield. It's gonna be a tough offense to match up against. And it's almost like he's almost out there trying to get people to go against. I mean, he's competing against his division rival here, Jason. So maybe he's like,
Mhm.
okay, I see his secondary. I just know I need one more guy, to keep this guy's to free up some movement in secondary for him. But it's kind of the same thing here. What do we think about Cap? Like I know it's only $120 million contract, 129, I guess, but he paid DK, he paid Justin Fields, he's paid a couple of defensive guys. I think. You think he's the one maybe that kind of like overspent in a wide receiver position here?
I think he definitely, I mean, it's a lot of money to be spending on a third wide receiver. I think there's no denying that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's showing right now, but I think Lou alluded to something pretty interesting here in the chat. He said Rams had to abort 2 trades this offseason due to cap issues. We're
Ooh.
probably not seeing it right now, but if Stevie wants to go and give up a first round pick for an established guy, he's probably not, because Stevie hates having picks. He sends them out as soon as they come into his roster. He's not going to be able to add any talent because he won't have the cap room. I mean, I find myself in the same position, so it's not like I'm saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah. And it's
But
interesting because you mentioned that, and he already made a trade. He was the one who signed uh, he was the one who signed Cortland Sutton also, and immediately traded him. I think on that one he didn't really give him a lot of bonus money, so his cap was not really, like, his cap hit wasn't that impactful. And he got a 3rd round back from the Steelers, so that was actually a great trade for him. I mean,
oh yeah,
not much love lost on that one. But another thing that Lou mentioned in the chat a few days back, I remember kind of like stuck with me, is that every time you sign a contract, you don't really manage where to load the big year contract. It's always automatically backloaded. So we just re-signed our 4 big guys last offseason. So those contracts have not really hit yet. Those are like small. Like Josh Allen was like, I think, on for 25 mil this year, when his high end is like 45 or higher even, maybe. So yeah, those are gonna start catching up, and we're gonna see, a lot of these players are gonna start showing up. I mean, this is some of the best free agent classes we've had already. Now I
easily.
know, yeah, I know a lot of these are Bucks players who were kind of like neglected on the roster and just never had a chance to re-sign them. But I've never seen so many X factors on a free agency list before. A couple of good, offensive linemen, a lot of running backs, a lot of receivers. I mean, talk about just you almost makes you think. I'm like, oh man, do I want to just hold off this next upcoming free agency and just kind of like go all out, spend it on the final or second and final season because there's gonna be some veterans that are very very good. They're gonna be walking for a lot of people because I don't know how you feel, but every time I have to choose between a veteran and a younger guy, if they're like close, I'm always gonna go
Of
towards the
course.
younger guy, and they don't even have to be close. Like I want to say about 5 to 10 is my anywhere if the overall wise, right? If I have, let's say, corner, I have a 85 overall corner and I have a 79 overall corner that's much younger. I'm okay to let that 85 overall corner walk because I'd rather have the young talent. So and most of the league feels the same way because I've been trying to get some of the young guys off some people, and people just don't like letting others walk. All right. Anything else?
No, you nailed it. Let's go through a couple of these those are the big ones.
Yeah,
Let's go through a couple of
big three.
these quickly. So Michael Pittman, the Giants overpay for him and then immediately put him on the trade block after raving about the signing. That was hilarious.
Overpay. Yeah, I guess not underpay. $40 million for 40 years, 10 years 10 mil a year. It's not a crazy contract by any means, but it's not the contract you sign and trade for sure.
No.
And then you got a 17 mil bonus on that, so I'm sure the cap's gonna be tough. So when you trade somebody, I learned this when I traded Michael Thomas. When you trade somebody, the bonus money that you guarantee them, you take that cap hit the season after. So let's say his bonus list seems like it's 17 mil here. That's divided through his 4-year contract. But if if he does end up trading him this season, all that 17 mil is gonna be deducted from the next year's cap altogether. So that's gonna be a big hit for sure. Um, who else we got? Jamal Dean.
Yeah, the best defensive player on the board, Jamel Dean, goes to the Bengals. Do you think, and speaking of, Benny Lava's in the chat, do you think that the signing of Jamel Dean, 87 overall corner, gets the Browns or the Bengals back in the AFC North race? We saw the Browns win it this year. It's kind of been passed around. It went Steelers, Bengals, Browns. I mean, we'll do a season preview pod where we pick winners, but does this move the needle for the Bengals, you think?
I don't think this specific signing does. Roster wise, Browns still have the best roster in that division. We're just gonna have to change a couple other things on that. Play style wise, maybe quarterback move. I don't know what it is. We've seen Scott win 12 games before, and it's been a lot of running game, short passing, a lot of backfield. He had Debo at running back when he was successful. So that's what I'm looking. If I'm imagining him Scott winning, that's what I'm alluding to him. Go back to that the Madden 22 Rams play style.
I just like it because it's such a massive need for him. I'm looking at his corners right now. He's got now he's got Dean, who's 87. His other corners are 82, 77, and 76 overall. So this is a huge improvement to that room.
Yeah, and it's not a terrible contract. 2 years, 30 mil, all guaranteed. But whatever. You'll give him the guarantee money. He's probably gonna be there in 2 years. You're not gonna trade him. So. I imagine he drafts a corner, and now that's a turnaround. You get a good corner in a draft, you got a decent starter as your CB1 or CB2, and put some, maybe draft a late guy and put him in a slot, and you'll be fine. It's not hard to overamp position groups in this game, especially in draft. I did that with wide receivers completely. So, you said best defensive player, but I think Adrian Hutchinson is the best defensive player, and he goes to the Lions. Yeah, that's a young, probably the most sought out for player that was on the market this year. by not as higher in overall. He's an 86 overall, but he's an X factor, and he's going to Lions. He's going to Lions on a super max. That's probably like the maxest deal you can offer somebody. $210 million, 140 guaranteed or in bonus, whatever you want to call it, for 7 years. So yeah, Aiden Hutchinson's gonna be a Lion for the rest of the Madden 23. Huge contract. I like this signing for the Lions. You made a deep playoff push last year. Go get a young stud. Give him all that money, and he's a speed rusher. He's gonna help you in the pass downs. Go, I love it. It should be good, and also he looks good in Lions uniform. So
yeah, he belongs there.
yeah. Let's see. Austin Eckler goes to Raiders.
Christian Kirk to the Seahawks. Don't skip our boy Lou. That was his. Seahawks had a couple nice signings. He got Christian Kirk and Avonte Maddox, a couple role players that'll help out the roster.
Yeah, Maddox was a rated last year. I was not happy to let him walk. I wasn't, but he was being a bitch, and he didn't have any interest re-signing. And I was definitely not going to give him a $63 million contract. So I'm, good for him. He's 29, so yeah, he's probably gonna finish out. He's a slot corner. He's pretty speedy. I did not like him because he's very short. Even in the slot, he'd keep up with people, and the balls would just tail over his head. And I was like, all right, I'm done. So I decided I'd let him walk. I did give up like 4th round draft pick last year for him, so it's sad they only got 1 year out of him, but it's fine. As far as Christian Kirk, whatever. I'm no disrespect to Lou, but I'm not in love with that pick, just that signing, because 5 years you're gonna have Christian Kirk for 5 years. He's gonna be 33 in 5 years. I feel like you could have probably got him for cheaper. I don't even know how many offers he had on. Did he have a lot of offers? 91 speed, like, does not blow me away. He's only 5'11", 87 overall, no abilities, but if that's what he needs, that's what he needs. I'm not gonna hate too much on it. Travis Kelce is a pretty interesting sign for the Cowboys. Cowboys just clean up all the old X factors.
That's the one I would have loved if that was Dan's only move in free agency.
Yeah.
Like, the Derrick Henry move was like kind of a dumb throw a bunch of money at a player you don't need. Travis Kelce is like a very nice impact guy who's regressing but is still very effective, and I would have really liked if that was his only move.
For sure. 85 overall, just like a third down, like tight end who's gonna like just run quick out routes, or like possession guy. Like he need him to be a burner, 84 speed, so he's slow. But yeah, 2 years, 11 mil, 12 mil in bonus. Yeah, just like you said, he hit it right on the like win now move, bring in guys who can compete with you to go win championships, make a couple of key third down catches for you. But yeah. And then we got Patriots making a couple of cool moves. We got Shaq Mason and McGlinchey, Mike McGlinchey, revamping the offensive line a little bit.
Little Sean Payton offseason, I was saying, just investing in the trenches. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, solid. I didn't even know there were so many good linemen on the market, to be honest. I was not really in a market for linemen, but this is probably the one the best you can get.
I've never invested anything in the offensive line in any Madden, but in my game against the Broncos, his defensive ends were tearing me up, and I couldn't get much of a push running the ball, even when he came out in nickel. So I'm hoping it makes an impact next season in those big games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Shaq Mason, 32, 85 overall, and then McGlinchey, 30. Damn, McGlinchey's 30? What's his real age? 28? 29?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Both 1 year deals though, just 1 year deals.
That was my next question. Is this? Are you planning on re-signing these people later? You think you're gonna get a discount later, or?
I've never been a big believer in linemen making a difference in Madden, so I just didn't want to hitch my wagon to them long term and tie up a bunch of money in guys that I'm not even sure are going to make an impact. Maybe they will be great and I'll re-sign them, but didn't want to commit anything too long term.
Okay, so maybe give him a quick trial run, see if he works out, and then if he does, you can always hook him up with that money. This is the question I had for you, because I've heard you multiple times that you were kind of like looking into. I know you were in talks with the Panthers for Tyler Lockett. You were in talks with a couple other people for their receivers. Jacoby Myers, man, former Patriot. I feel like that was a great fit with you. He's not really fast, but I don't think his speed is what you were looking for. How come?
Yeah, but he wouldn't have been any better than Brandon Cooks. Like Cooks is annoying and small and a bitch, but he's better than Jacoby Myers. So I'd rather just go Brandon Cooks as my wide receiver 3, and then have I traded for this guy Puka Nacua out of from the Lions. He's got some good traits, so he'll be my wide receiver 4. Jacoby Myers, I offered him like a 900 grand. I said in the chat, I've got no money left, so I couldn't really make it happen. Rather go O line than wide receiver 4.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that pretty much sums up the free agency then. I do want to point out that, yeah, man, offensive linemen, there's a lot of good ones out there this year that people
Bowles
picked
to the
up.
Cards, Jalen Hurts to the Eagles.
Yeah.
I like the Saints getting 2 safeties. They got Adrian Amos and Jimmy Ward, who's a superstar. 2 solid safeties to plug in right away. Uchenna Nwosu to the Titans. He's a good plug-in outside linebacker. Devondre Campbell to the Broncos.
So you just let him walk and resign him, looks like, because didn't they have him before?
He had Campbell? I'm not sure.
Maybe he somebody in my division definitely had it. Let's see. Season stats.
I feel like maybe Brina had him.
Career stats. Let's see. Nope. He was in Pittsburgh.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, overall fun off season for sure. I wish I was a little more cash rich for me too, but it kind of worked out for me because I was gonna miss out on a lot of these guys regardless. So I don't feel too sad about it. But there's some good linemen. There's not good players, some quality players on a free agency, and there's some good ones left too. Like if this is the time when you're like, okay, I know I'm not getting Derrick Henry or Debo, but if I need a quick, if I'm looking for a solid backup running back or a solid third receiver or whatever the case is, you can find those guys on the market still. So, or like a safety, like Jordan Whitehead, 80 overall safety, not bad.
Yeah, definitely some guys to get if you saved a little bit of cash for after the draft.
Yep.
All right. Anything else from free agency? I think it's not like a hugely crazy class, but it's definitely one of our best ones, and people were throwing money around for sure. I think you're right, though. Aiden Hutchinson was the prize. Was the prize of the exactly.
Yep. He was the jewel. Cool.
All right. So what else? Yeah, what do we got on the agenda? We got a league member spotlight.
LMS. It's crazy that we still got these. I really thought we're finishing them up, but I love it. It just makes you realize this is a big group of people.
I know. We got a lot of dudes. And this is a guy, he sent me this a while ago. He sent me this over a week ago because we haven't potted in a while. But this league member spotlight is about my division rival. Epic playoff game against him where he took a knee to end the game, basically. And that's our boy, Christian Austin of the Dolphins.
Christian Austin, also known huge 7th grader quarterback prospect out of some high school, I don't know, or middle school.
Okay.
You must have missed it. He was in the chat.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
That's good. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I asked him how old he is, where does he live, what he does for work, favorite Madden or DMVR memory, favorite Madden player, fun fact, anything else. This is my first time reading it. And he also sent me a picture. I'll show you guys first. He's looks like a
Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll pick it in the video, but I'll help you out. No worries.
Cole Beasley. Oh, and he's talking. Hold on. All right. So
go ahead. Well, I was gonna say I also want to shout out Christian and my babies were born about within 10, 12 hours each other. So
yeah, crazy.
2 new dads for sure. And congratulations to him. We've been talking about sharing our experiences between each other a lot. That's been pretty cool. So all right, let's hear from
future Madden rivals, those two.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so he is 30 years old, born and raised in the city of Malmo. My mom is from London and dad is Swedish, currently living very close to my good friend and Madden rival Joke in the small town of Hoor. HOOR with the 2 dots over each O.
So those are soft O's.
Okay.
Spell it again.
HOOR.
Yeah, it's hood.
Hoor?
I'm fucking making it up. I don't know.
You don't know anything.
Sounds like about
I
right.
was believing you.
I'll watch the Vikings. Got the God. I know some things.
All right. So for work, I am an estate agent at the largest firm in Sweden, selling about 120 sales per year, houses, apartments, and plots. In our region, state, I have the second most sales in the entire area. All right.
Big sales guy. That's what I'm
I
talking.
love when people put in what they do for work. They always like flex it a little bit. I can tell the boys are
Got him.
trying to flex. It's great.
It's a group of successful individuals. No way
Very true.
you get so much time to sit down and play Madden if you're not grinding on as your secondary job, I should say.
Exactly.
Yep. Because
His favorite memory, as I've only been in the league for 6 to 7 months, but I remember getting in the league and thinking this could be fun. But to be honest, this league is amazing, more like a community. So many great guys. The chat is awesome. The pods are just insane. So just joining the league is the greatest so far.
Hell yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Favorite player, who do you think?
I gotta go with Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's goes favorite player so far, AR, my quarterback, as it is my first year here, so no legends from the past yet. He is making my offense go now. He is getting better. Dude, I feel like our last season of Madden, when Anthony Richardson is fully developed, he's going to be fucking crazy. But I ask you, fucking awesome. Christian, sorry. You have Anthony Robinson and Bijan Robinson, right? Or Anthony Richardson and Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
They're number 7 and 20 on your team. Can you just make them number 15 and 5, like, please?
Yeah.
Like Anthony Richardson, number 7, I hate it. And Bijan Robinson, number 20, I hate that too. Like, fix that shit.
Good call. Yeah, I agree. I'm a big numbers Nazi, so I'm on for it. Yeah. Same with Dak Prescott when number 1 while we at it. Just stop it. Just give him his.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Makes him look small. Come on, Derek.
All-time favorite player in the NFL, Cole Beasley, who won me my fantasy championship. I have his name engraved on my championship ring. That's what that is. Okay, because this ring it's a fantasy football championship with Cole Beasley's name engraved on it. That's pretty hilarious.
That is funny. Okay.
Fact.
Before we move on, while we're on that subject, you play fantasy football?
Yeah.
Have you won ever?
Yeah.
Okay, who was your star player that you would have to put on your ring?
It was probably 2017, the year that Devontae Freeman was really good, if you remember that. The Falcons running back.
Yeah, what? This long time ago. Okay. So he would be on your ring? That's lame.
I forget. It's hard. I haven't won in a few years.
Yeah. So my last one I won with Justin Jefferson. Not this year, but year before. I won with him, and then one before I won twice. I haven't played fantasy so far, but too much. But one before was I think 2017 or 18, around the same time as you, I guess. Alvin Kamara. I remember his rookie year. I picked him off the waivers week 3, and then dropped 30 points per game since then. Shout out to Sean Payton. So he will definitely be on my ring. Cool. All right, what's next?
I've fallen off on fantasy so much since joining this league.
Yep, exactly. This is my fantasy now, yeah.
Yeah. All right, fun fact. My last name, Austen, is the same name as the author Jane Austen. We are related, but 1 million miles away. My great-grandfather's cousin or something like that. Jane Austen.
Yeah.
Who is that? I'm sorry.
Novelist. Anything that we would know? Big readers over here.
Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, I know the movie.
Yeah, she wrote that back in 1813.
All
right, cool. That's a fun fact. All right, anything else? Awesome league. Big shout out to Timmy for creating this and letting me in, and my 2 favorite podcasters, Levon and Will Jack. Weird thing. Every night when I sleep, I plug one AirPod in and replay the latest episode, even though I already heard it. Perfect for relaxing. Damn, that's awesome.
That is awesome. That wholesome as fuck.
Yeah. All right, Christian. What a beast.
When next time you listen to this, Christian, I'm gonna give you a little lullaby, maybe a little bit of SMR, so you can go tonight and enjoy it. We appreciate you. Change your player numbers, please. There we go. All right.
Yes,
Let's
change.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was a great league member spotlight. A great league addition. You're always a little worried when we get another Swede, but Christian's been great.
Yeah.
Kid just loves Madden.
Yeah. Top 3 Sweden in the league for sure.
No doubt. All right. So we did the free agency recap. We talked about the pizza bet. We did the league member spotlight. Before we get to trades, let's talk about the steal a player rule idea that's been kind of floated around in the league. So this came from Dallin, and it was basically like he saw a league on YouTube, and he's talked about doing it for like the first 8 weeks of the season or something, or maybe in the last season of this Madden. But basically the rule is every week you play your opponent, and whoever wins gets to steal a player from the other team, like not a quarterback, but like you get to steal somebody. Like I could steal Jackson Smith and Jigba from your team if I beat you. What do you think about this rule?
I don't like it. I mean, the way you proposed it is a last season thing, maybe, because I know during our last season last year, people were really kind of checking out, ready to move on to the next Madden, and kind of like not there was not as much excitement. It was for me. That was my best year so far. Season made my deepest playoff run. So, but a lot of people are kind of turned off. But overall, it's just not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work because we already have such a top heavy rosters in the league. Like, let's say Jason, right, back-to-back Super Bowl champion. If he beats, let's say if he beats me, he's gonna add Minka Fitzpatrick or Mark Andrews to his team. Like it's gonna throw really big imbalance in the league, I believe, and it's really gonna be hard on the guys who are struggling to get put wins back to back together.
Yeah, I got to step away for 1 second. I got a delivery that I got to sign for. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead. But that is my biggest that would be my biggest issue with it. Like when you play this game, there's even a scenario in it when you're getting this steal the momentum thing, when you can steal other players' momentum, and then it kind of like rolls into your players getting XP, getting developed a lot faster rate than others in the league. So just to add on top of that, just to add another award for winning just a regular season game and stealing up. I mean, everybody would just take their opponent's best player, and it would be just a absolute mismatch moving forward, especially first 8 weeks. Like that's when people are just most of the league gets the bulk of wins when there's not a lot of pressure. So
I hate it mostly because, well, first of all, let me just say I hate the idea. It's terrible. In a league of 32 very evenly matched users, maybe it could work. Yeah. But I like to be the person that speaks up for the marginalized people in our community. And I don't want to see the Saints, the Vikings, the Eagles get gutted throughout the season. Of like they've been putting this team together for 4 or 5 seasons. They start 0-6 and they've lost their 6 best players, right? So I hate it from that perspective. I also don't like this talk of relegation league. Like we're talking about guys, Brennan and Mike, who have been in this league longer than we have for years. And we're going to kick them down to another Madden league with all these fucking strangers that they don't know just because they're not the most competitive Madden player. Like those guys and Logan, those guys bring a ton to the league, even though they're not like a top dog, like competitively. So I think that, I got so much more respect for those guys that stay committed and stay focused on the league through losing, because I know how hard it is to stay enthusiastic while you are losing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine if I was my first year, imagine having this rule when we first got into the league. My first year in the league was I think I went 1-16 or something like that. Only win against the Beef. Shout out to Beef. Yeah, I would have been absolutely gutted if I just came in here and made all these relationships, and then now I'm just not even playing with you guys. So you're right. Yeah, it wouldn't work. Not in this setting. It's probably a good idea for a different type of league when it's just purely competitive, purely bringing more people recycling people. You know, you got
Or if it's like just a one season league, right? Like
yeah,
where you haven't been
exactly.
building up a roster for season over season.
Yep.
It's just like, okay, we're just building up the two best teams towards the end. That would be kind of cool, like a
Yeah,
knockout league.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, you hit it right on the park.
Right on the park. All right, so let's
Right on the
talk.
park. I was gonna say right on the
I know, I know.
and then I switched it up at the end.
All right, let's talk. I got some big trades written down. Let's.
Yeah, let's
I
hit
want
them.
you to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of impact.
Okay.
Okay. First one, Cowboys trade 2/3 for Teron Armstead from the Texans. 92 overall tackle.
Cowboys trade 2/3. I mean, that's a great deal for the Cowboys. How old is Armstead? Like 33, 34?
He's old.
Yeah, he's probably got a season or two left in it. But, you know, third round picks, not a it's not a bad deal for either team, but for Cowboys makes a lot of sense. We talked about it earlier. He's trying to like compete now, win now, bring in veterans, bring in impactful players right away. So yeah, I like this move for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I wonder maybe the Texans couldn't afford him. I'm not sure.
Could be, yeah.
Why he would want to get rid of him. All right, Bills, little running back swap. There were picks involved, but essentially the Bills trade Joe Mixon and they get back Najee Harris. What do you think about this one?
This I do remember this. Joe Mixon was recently acquired by the Bills too, so Bills are just keep looking. Something to find
searching for
something.
answers.
Like, yeah, search for answers. A lot of moves. You know, quarterback turnovers. You know, they're saying they finally found a quarterback in Deshaun Watson. Now you're creating. You're making a move at the position where you need. Maybe Joe Mixon didn't really fit his style. He's not really a bruiser back. He's more of a. It's not even a third down back. He's a big guy, but it's definitely more of elusive than just straight power running back. So maybe Najee, he's a little bit more to that, possibly.
Yeah, and Najee's he weighs more and he's younger, so maybe that's he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
I know Timmy loves developing his running back, so maybe you can get a little more excited about Najee than Joe Mixon, who's more of a finished product type of guy.
Right.
All right, here's a player for player swap. Colts get tight end Michael Mayer from the Commanders, and the Commanders get cornerback Bryce Hall.
Bryce Hall is pretty good.
He is good.
Yeah, X factor. He's a little slow guy, but he's an X factor.
But how many good young tight ends, like superstar tight ends, are there like Michael Mayer? I really like this trade for the Colts, honestly. I think Michael Mayer is really good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, Colts are the same way, right? Kind of like looking for a spark. I mean, we got a lot of talent on that team outside of a quarterback, so I like it. Let's try it.
Broncos get Chidobe Awuzie from the Vikings for a third.
Yeah, this makes sense. You know, after you move Trayvon Mullen, maybe get Awuzie. That's a corner, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe a lot of people are speculating he's gonna take one of the top corners with this third overall pick, but just kind of a drop stop here. Make sure if you don't get your guy, you have somebody you could you not totally left hang to dry in your secondary. So
I forgot to even mention that trade. I've got the Broncos trading for the third pick, and then I got other big trades, and I just started with other big trades. I missed this one. So Broncos trade for the number 3 pick. They give up X Factor Trayvon Mullen. They gave up Tavier Thomas, a 93 speed corner. They give up pick 31, 63, 95, 191, and 223. And presumably he's going to get one of those top corners, right?
You gotta. I mean, you just moved your best corner, defensive player of the year, I believe. Not this year, maybe last year, and another speedy corner. I know he's trying to make it interesting in the chat, saying he's listening for the offers and he's really intrigued with the wide receivers. Come on, you're not fooling anybody. We have 2 CU corners in this class. They are top corners. He's a big CU guy. Either what's his name, Travis Hunter, or is it?
Cormani McLean?
Yeah, McLean. Yeah. Wait, is it McLean? Yep. Yeah, you're right. Cormani McLean. One of those guys are going into to Denver. My man, you got to be nervous though, because Travis Hunter is a top 5 talent. You're not crazy to think that Cardinals, who don't need a quarterback, they have Derek Carr, correction, Dak Prescott, at number 2. They they could be taking just best player available, and you got are the top 5, what you call it, projected players. You only have like couple, Arch Manning, Malachi Nelson, two quarterbacks, and Travis Hunter. So you would be a gut punch, I imagine, for the Broncos to trade your proven commodities in secondary to try and get your guy up there, and then now you're just stuck with either guys that projected to go mid to late first round, or what, you trade back down maybe. I don't know. Interesting. He's really hyping up. He's really trying to raise the what you call it, stocks of some of the wide receivers. Uh, I know there's a couple of speedy receivers that he was talking about. He's interesting taking, and I just think it's just smoke screen. You're not tricking anybody. We know who you're taking. Jonte Cook, I think he was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool trade for both sides. I like the Bucks getting Trayvon Mullen and all those picks back too. That's a good move for him. I mean, he doesn't need a quarterback. He's already got Drake May. So from Caleb's perspective, I like it. And then a little intel on this trade from RK. I was speaking with him after he made the deal. He told me he knew he wasn't going to be able to make the draft, but instead of doing the I can't make the draft, all my picks for sale, I used them in a deal for number 3. And like that is one of my biggest pet peeves in the league is when people say like, "Oh, I can't make the draft. Like somebody come get all my picks." Like,
No. Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You immediately tank the value. Like, what
Yeah.
is the rush? First of all, what's the rush? And second of all, like, be a little strategic with those picks. You could put together a monster offer for somebody instead of
Yeah.
just like that's like the only way you could tank somebody's value, like in the league. Like tank your own trade value is by
Yeah.
doing that. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Big, super veteran move by RK. If he's not going to be able
Yeah.
to make that, he can he's probably setting his draft board with top 5 players, and he's getting one of top 3. So not bad.
And if you're offering RK a lot of picks, that's probably not what he's looking for. So just a heads up if you are trying to trade for number 3. All right, moving on to more trades. Jags get superstar safety Juan Thornhill for a first from the Commanders. Another guy who hates first round picks. The Jags, Jarrell and Stevie hate first round picks.
Yeah, they do. They were Jarrell. I mean, I had an interesting trade with Jarrell. He got a third from me, I think, or maybe a fourth for a decent corner. He just cannot hold on to him. I know he was making a promise to Riley in the chat. He was for a little bit. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take my draft pick," and then he ended up getting rid of it. So, um, he was looking to get some of the second round picks, so he's still interested in it. I just think, like a lot of people, he gets discouraged when you get like a second round pick and you draft a 71 overall regular dev. Right
Yeah.
hand is just not gonna fucking survive your 53 man cuts. He's just like, what the fuck did I save this pick for? So, um, yeah, not a bad move.
Here's a trade that got a lot of buzz in the chat. So the Vikings were originally picking fourth
Yeah,
overall. They moved back from 4 to 8. Lou moves up to 4, but in the process of moving back, the Vikings pick up. They get the 8th pick, right? And they get the 40th pick and a lineman. I think it's good value to move back 4 spots.
yeah. This is a great value for Vikings. I'm not sure if I love this move for the Seahawks though, because looking ahead, right? So before he picked, but who are Vikings? Davis Mills is quarterback.
Yeah,
So unless he had
suspect.
some, yeah, he had really, suspecting the Vikings taking a quarterback there, because I'm guessing Seahawks are moving up to draft a quarterback. I mean,
Got to be.
gotta be right. There's not really, but back to my point. Before he moved up from 8, the 7th 1 through 7th were picking. So he had Titans ahead of him, Browns ahead of him, uh, Rams ahead of him. Vikings ahead of him, Broncos ahead of him, Cardinals ahead of him, and then the Saints. I
Not
don't
a
think
QB needy team in there. Yeah.
Arch Manning going number one. After that, I don't think a single quarterback's going. Rams got Patrick Mahomes.
Great point.
Browns have Joe Burrow. Titans have Caleb Williams, and then Broncos have Justin Herbert. I don't think a single quarterback goes there. So it's an interesting move for the Seahawks. But again, like if you feel like you really, if that makes you sleep at night, then knowing that the guy's gonna be there, good for you, man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna hate on dog on it, but I'm just saying it's more of a very very safe move instead of kind of like taking a very slight risk of not getting your guy there.
Very true. Yeah, we get the logic. He's, there's always a possibility that somebody could jump from, into the 3 to 7 range, kind
Yeah,
of, and take your spot, especially because Mike has been shopping the number 4 pick, and it was reported that Derek was shopping the number 2 pick. So
yeah.
to think that somebody would trade up makes a lot of sense. But maybe you could have waited it out. But I always like people that know what they want and they go get it. So it's a good deal for both sides, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mike, hit me up if you like to trade back even more. I got so much draft capital I can hook you up with. Just saying.
There you go. All right, so a few more trades. Bills traded away Bobby Okereke for superstar safety Benny Sapp with the Saints. He's like a superstar and like 74 overall. He's got to be a young guy.
Damn, 74 overall. I feel like I can't imagine drafting a single player that's a superstar. Maybe you got a nice dev upgrade recently, like at the end of the
Maybe.
season or something like that. Hey, every time you add a superstar to your roster, man, it's good.
100%. Yeah. Let me check. Let me see if I can find him really quick.
What
He's
team?
24 years old. Yeah, I think he was in the first draft. He's
Yeah.
75 overall superstar.
Yeah.
Timmy will develop this guy nicely.
Yeah, run support guy. That's his archetype, I should say. But he's so low in everything that he can really. This guy's just a ball of clay right now, developing whatever you want him to develop. 90 speed, so 90 acceleration, not a slow guy. 89 hit power. You'll get something good.
Damn. All right, Brennan. So Brennan drafted Benny Sapp 2 years ago, hidden dev, and sat on my roster all year. Turned you out. He was superstar after the season, bro. You can see that on the website, dog.
Come on, Brennan. That's just neglect.
Bobby Okereke is a good linebacker, though, so that's a good addition to the Saints. And I know Timmy's my player as a linebacker, so he probably gave him away for a little less than what he's really worth. So okay,
Rookie mistake. Yeah, for sure.
all right, we'll learn from it.
Yeah, you never lose, man. You only win or learn. So we learned this one.
Facts. All right, Steelers send. This was earlier in the offseason. This was back when Hank was super into Madden for that whole day. Steelers send Asante Samuel Jr. and a second to the Jags for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Steelers, Bryce Young, Devontae Adams, Kyle Pitts, TDP. They got a little offense going.
I'll say this one thing, man. We'll see how Devontae Adams works out, but one thing I don't appreciate about this new Madden is how much it doesn't matter how overall your or established your receivers are. All the veteran receivers in this game are kind of like looked at as like DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Michael Thomas's, like those guys, they were superstars in real life. People don't really look at them as there's a couple that obviously got like DKs and receivers like that, but everybody would rather go and draft a rookie receiver than trade for a big guy like that. And then
I would take one of those like highly rated guys. I value high overall.
but would you trade him first for them?
No.
That's what I mean. Like most people rather take a 80 overall superstar in the draft than take a big guy. That is true. Hank is his worst when he goes into passing mode. So AFC North, they're chomping their bits, waiting how big of a disaster that's gonna be. But from Hank's perspective, though, he's gotten Cortland Sutton, Devontae Adams. Only thing is, like, all these guys are slow. It's not gonna be hard to cover these guys. if none of them are just being you. No, if you don't have anybody to stretch the field, Kyle Pitts maybe, but he's a tight end. He can't be that fast. So,
Yeah, but some of those highly rated guys, like they'll throw a corner if you press
yeah,
them. They'll get
for sure,
releases.
for sure. I mean, I've had Devontae Adams last year. He's a great receiver, but he went for what you said, third round.
No, Asante Samuel and a second. So that's pretty good value.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Who had him before? Who
He
traded
was
him?
on the Jags.
Jags. Yeah, Jags are just ready to crown
Downs.
Downs as their wide receiver one. So yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. If you're X Factor, I mean, he was a 90 number a lot. I heard on a pod that he's like 97 now. So if he's not getting enough touches and you don't see a lot of use for him, I don't mind you go fill another hole and get some draft capital back.
All right, couple more here. Panthers. I don't have the exact terms of all these trades, but they made a couple trades. They brought in James Robinson they missed out on Derrick Henry, but
Yeah.
they bring in James Robinson, so they get a power running back to kind of
Mm-hmm.
complement Corum. They bring in Dalton Schultz because they lost Travis Kelce. My player is a tight end too, so it appears Dalton Schultz will be his tight end too, next to his guy. And he's traded away after bringing in Mike Evans. He traded away Tyler Lockett and Cortland Sutton after signing Cortland Sutton.
Yeah,
he got good value for both.
Yeah, he did, and I think what happened here, he was just offering contracts to make sure he got at least one of the big receivers on the market, and both of the receivers miscommunication between the the front office and the player agents, where they all just signed the contracts, and then he realized that one of them had to be moved. So again, we talked about this again. Third round for Cortland Sutton is not bad. As Broncos fans, we all love a third round pick for Cortland Sutton right now.
Oh my god,
I was talking about Cortland third rounder for Buda Baker. Yeah, sign me up, dude. Sign me up big time. Would love that.
But I mean, it seems like if you get Buda Baker, you have to give him a big contract. That seems like what the issue is in Arizona.
Free up money getting rid of Cortland. You just give him Cortland's money. Add $5 million on it. Give him Cortland's money. And you got Justin and Buda in the back, and you got Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick as your main receivers. I feel like Sean Payton should be able to make anybody work in that. People are like, oh, you don't want to downgrade from Cortland to Callaway, but you're not really downgrading Cortland to Callaway. You're downgrading from Cortland to Tim Patrick, which is, I don't think it's a bold statement to make today that I think you're upgrading at this point from Cortland to Tim Patrick.
We're all very low on Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, right, and very high on Timmy P. So I love that trade. It's not happening. It's just a fun conversation I remembered about them. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, just get good value for you guys. Move on from it. I traded Michael Thomas after I signed him to a $120 million contract. when you know you made a mistake, just move on. Where the bad news don't get better over time. It's kind of the same thing here. Like bad contracts don't get better over time. Get rid of them now.
All right, last trade here came through last night. The Rams bringing in Dre Greenlaw. Oh, this is probably the trade that's not going to happen. He brought in Dre Greenlaw and Eddie Jackson, two guys that are actually probably expensive from the Vikings for mid-round picks. So, yeah, that's probably not happening.
Yeah, no, probably not. They do have a fourth pick in the draft, though, right? The Rams?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They do.
Oh, no, fifth.
Fifth, yeah.
Interesting. I'm starting to wonder, maybe we know the our big guy, little Jordan Humphrey, bro. We're good. All right.
Okay, and that trade did go through. It worked.
Okay, cool. What I was saying though is, I wonder if Rams and Seahawks had a little friendly conversation, and maybe Rams were threatening taking a quarterback at 5. Maybe that's what urged Seahawks to move up to 4, pick ahead of the Rams, which would be a fun inside story with that. Oh yeah, that was a big one. We forgot to mention that.
I missed it.
Yeah, DeForest Buckner. He's not. He's a just plug in big playmaker D lineman for it. Hell yeah.
Dan brought in so much talent this offseason. It's crazy.
You know what? While we're on it, I'm gonna look at his salary situation. Let's see what it looks like. So I'm kind of curious. Getting a little, the checkbook's getting a little. Okay, so It's not crazy. They got $38 million in cap space, so about 26 with the rookie reserve. Let's see who's on.
Yeah, that's more than I have.
Yeah, let's see. But here's the thing. Let's see.
Oh, he's gonna have to pay AJ Brown. He's gonna have to pay DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
That's why he wants to trade AJ Brown.
Yep. Pat Surtain. No, Pat Surtain's on a last year on his contract. Dexter Lawrence is last year on his contract. Justin Reed last year on his contract. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. My bad. Those guys all have a lot of years left. Let's see.
Nice team though. He's got a lot of good players.
Yeah. No excuses, man. We need a deep playoff run from the Cowboys next year before they get put on a fraud alert. Yeah, all these guys are locked up for long term, so he should be fine.
All right. Last point, league announcements. I feel like we've seen some announcements come through. We saw the Browns one. We've seen a couple from the Cowboys. Like people using the news channel to just kind of talk about their team, like write a bunch of paragraphs about their team.
The Dan one was so funny, man. He just dropped his, and I'm quoting bombshell. I don't think anybody was bombed or shelled by it, but about him not drafting my player just to say, oh,
completely walk it back. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really love that one. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
It was like the clearest smoke I've ever seen.
Guys, focus group those announcements before you send them out. Just be like, hey, you think people would care about this? Like, before I use the news channel to blast this out and blow up everybody's phone, maybe see if one person would care. Like, Stu just put one in the chat. He's just like, per Coach Frump, but he didn't use the news channel. Like, that's we appreciate that, Stu. That's a good post.
Yeah, for sure. Browns, I know Browns always post some shit. I don't think I've read Browns long posts. As soon as I see Browns front office, I'm like, I don't care. There's probably something goofy that nobody really needs to know. So, but yeah, great.
Unless it ends with somebody's being actively shopped and you're like building up like a trade block post, like then people will care. But if it's just like
the
you plan to draft somebody, like oh great.
yeah, for sure. Funny.
All right, bro.
I think that wraps it up, right? Good pod. I know we've been absent for over a week, but you guys made it clear that you guys needed a break from us, and we gave you the deserved break. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If not, we'll take another break. I got plenty of things I can do.
Hey, thanks, Brennan. Thanks, Mike. And we'll get you guys a season preview pod soon enough. We'll pick division winners, pick conference winners, pick Super Bowl winners. Dude, your Super Bowl pick from last year, you were right. Congratulations. Good job by you.
That's the closest I can come to a Super Bowl win myself. All right, bro. Well, good talking to you, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Brennan, you'll be hearing from me. Mike, hopefully you'll be hearing from me.
Later, boys.